Good morning on the Continental Divide Trail. Here we have a nice white winter wonderland and human urine.
That's not mine.
Something came here in the night and urinated all around Clover's tent.
It was a bear.
7:09 a.m. start, which is not that bad, all things considered. We're gonna have to stop filming and look at a map, unfortunately.
Yeah, like immediately.
That's gonna slow us down today. Where's the fucking trail? It is gorgeous.
It's very pretty. These are rabbit traps.
I can see how somebody could easily get lost and die here, though.
Yes, very easily, especially like with no blazes. Imagine being like an explorer or whatever the fuck.
This is what we get for camping at the highest altitude point we possibly could have. But honestly, it's better than could be expected, because I'm sure anybody else who camps below here or around us got rained on rather than snowed on, and everything they have is muddy, and I would much rather have this.
Back there was a cattle guard, and I made the mistake of trying to skirt around it instead of going over it, and I fucking this foot just plunged like up to, I don't know, like I guess like up to here, just right into the cold water.
The thing about it is, this part of the trail has not been mapped since 2020, so it keeps oscillating between dirt roads and trail, and we keep choosing which way to go, and we haven't taken the road yet. We were debating on whether we should. In the millisecond we decided to go on the road. Colossal fuck up.
Yep, so this is a bad omen, but we're gonna go through with it.
Been looking for prints in the snow of anybody who might be ahead of us, because we want to catch a lot of the people we know, and we haven't really seen any, which is surprising. But there are spider webs of alternates through this area, so there could be 20 of us parallel to one another in just different parts of the woods without any knowledge of it. Pretty big waterway here. Snow keeping our feet dry on this one. I went shoes off, he's keeping shoes on. Probably gonna be more stable like that, but I don't want to have soaking feet. Back to the Gila.
Oh, those are some fucking cold legs. Woo!
Alright, so we got duped into bushwhacking to see some Shrine of Icarus that a bunch of crystal magicians put up here. I don't really know how they get to do that. It's kind of cool looking, but I guess that's private property down there in the national forest here. They keep erecting this thing to try to convince themselves that they're classic Greek historians or something. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Maybe they think they're Pythagoreans or something, which, if you guys don't know, Pythagoras started a cult on an island off the coast of like Greece and Turkey, and they worshipped beans, and they were supposedly willing to kill themselves to keep people from even stepping on a single bean plant. How fucking stupid is that?
Get a fucking job, idiots.
I guess that does go to show that all you need to do in your life is get one good idea down, and then you can do whatever for the rest of the time. Nobody remembers him from being some kind of bean-obsessed maniac. Just a mathematician, right? All right, it's mid-afternoon. We've taken a break. So guess what? Clover can smoke. Other than that, we're hiding behind a U.S. Forest Service brick shithouse, which does block the wind very well. I'm so glad I got to use that term because it's usually figurative, and this is a literal brick shithouse. But it's not open. What's the point of these things if they're locked? I'm talking about getting a master key and unlocking all of them. Well, onward and upward. We come down the hill to yet another brick shithouse, and who do we find but Zoolander has decided he wants to live in the shit. He's decided that his entire life exists inside this now. Is this even that good? What did you do in this place? No, I'm not going to do that. Alright, well, back to being miserable. We're going up in elevation, and as Clover would say, it's the last thing the mountain will expect. Zoolander gets to suffer now. I'm sure Clover's behind somewhere. It's totally frigid now. Don't really have much of a choice but to keep walking though. If this seems like a schizophrenic cut, it's because the weather changes that quickly here. It was just in a blizzard. Now it's hot. Like 15 minutes later. I don't understand this place. All right, made it 28 point something miles today, I think. No snow in camp, at least not right now. We'll see what happens in the morning. All right, the race is on to catch the Germans, the Dutch, the Kiwis, the turncoats, any other people who dared leave town before us. But we will catch them. It's 6:27 a.m. and none of them know how to wake up this early. So our chances are high. That crunch is the sound of a cold morning. It's cold up here. All the grass is frozen. Our water bottles are frozen. I mean, that's not really out of the ordinary at this point, but it's been cold. But nothing warms a growing boy's stomach like burning tobacco.
You got food. I got tobacco. I don't really... Oh, you're filming. Oh, fuck. Don't smoke cigarettes, kids. It's a terrible affliction that will follow you to an untimely death. That said, they are fucking pretty good, though. Like, goddamn, they're delicious. I don't know. They should probably be illegal.
There are Europeans afoot. We see them. Oh, we got one left, one straggler. I gotta know who that is. So that was just a sole straggler named Link, and now we've learned that the bulk of everybody is about 3 miles ahead, but we'll see whether they're still asleep by the time we get there. we ran into the Germans and Dutch, or at least some of them. We were notified of a way around a bushwhack, if you will. It goes straight up this mountain. Think of the trail down there as the Maginot Line, and then this is the Blitzkrieg around it. Yes, there is a trail up here. Wrong choice. Clover and I were talking a minute ago about how we're not sure how acclimated we are or how conditioned we are, because we still get tired at the end of the day. But I'm sure that if we were to start this hike right now and try to do 25 plus miles over like 10,000 feet of elevation, we'd have a lot harder time. It's just hard to determine how much harder it would be. We still have a lot of conditioning to go to. Just came off the trail over there onto this road, and there's a privy here. At the top it says, "Otter, rest in power." I think that's referring to a hiker, a CDT hiker, who died in there a few years ago. It's pretty morbid, but supposedly he was either really late season or very early season and got snowed in and didn't have a GPS device or anything to ask for help. And he wrote on the door, "Do not open, dead CDT hiker inside," and it was like months before anybody found him. But at least he had the presence of mind to think about whoever would have found him. Dried our tents off. Now we're just walking down a long road walk here because apparently there's so many blowdowns and so much snow inside the trail. It's kind of causing issue, so working around it a little bit. We're about 10,500 feet too. We're just starting to get up to this peak, which is going to allow us to see north. If you pay attention to the background, we're starting to see east of us. There sure is a lot of snow on the horizon. We're going to get a better view north here in a second. So, all of those mountains is what's north of us here. Steep. But in about 24 hours, we're going to be at Chama, and therefore we will have gone through all of New Mexico. Clover has done something nearly unprecedented and made it across the entire state on one pair of shoes. These Ultra Lone Peaks, which are falling apart as we speak. Look at that hole in the side there. Got a big ass hole in the side there. The sole doesn't really exist anymore. Some cab driver was talking to us about, y'all should get sponsorships. And I said, well, I think the 12 people that watch these videos don't give a shit about shoes, first of all. But secondly, I don't think Ultra or any of these companies really want to associate themselves with us. We're basically denigrating their name by even wearing them publicly. So we have an opposite strategy here. Ultra, if you give us each like $1,000, got it. We'll start saying we wear topos or something. Trail briefly disappeared a minute ago, and Clover had an astute point, which was,
yeah, so basically everyone's kind of wandering around aimlessly, making their own routes. They have alternates, and you know, then the trail just disappears. That, like, it makes like the shit spots that you find, like, you have less confidence that you won't be walked upon mid-business.
now, for example, I expect to imminently walk up on somebody's rectum pointed right at me because we're kind of walking directly through the woods, because we figured out we just have to basically walk until we hit a road, and then we'll figure out where the trail actually is. I think that we could call that rectum roulette. It turns out we were on the trail the entire time somehow. Don't ask me how that makes sense. I just noticed something. Look at the devotion it takes to smoke cigarettes like this. He smokes so hard he burns all the fingertips off of his gloves.
That's not how they fucking disintegrated. These gloves are like from the AT 12 years ago.
Whatever you say, pal. I'm over here crouching in a creek, and then Clover says, hey, there's a guy with a van over there. And this guy's shouting almost inaudibly. And he says, free beer. And we're like, stay right there, dude. We're coming. Trail magic on the CDT is rare. And so it must not be overlooked, or no gift horses must be looked in the mouth. This is the Lorax, and this is his van. He's clearing trail out here like a badass, giving us beer. Actually, it's Shiner, which is crazy because I'm a Texan and you're a Texan too originally. But like you say, you live in the mountains. 2 years now. Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, what a pleasant change to the day there. Wasn't the most substantial trail magic we've ever had, but you know, somebody offering you a beer changes the whole mood. Give us one to pack out to. I don't think we're gonna go as far now as we had initially planned. Doesn't really matter though, because we only have 10 miles tomorrow. But hey, that was nice. Clover made a good point. He was like, everything about the CDT is hard. Even to get your trail magic, you have to walk through a fucking bog. And that is a random ass place to get trail magic. It's hard to impose on anybody who's watching this how far in the middle of fucking nowhere we are right now. On a forest road. That guy must have driven 30 miles up dirt roads to get here. So, not expected at all. For anybody who doesn't understand the term trail magic, it's just like an old term for just like somebody giving you something for free like that out of nowhere. It seems like magic. Just comes out of the ether. Which this one really fit that definition. Never expected that here. All right, well, we didn't make it far. We just walked up the hill basically. Everybody had their fill of beer. We're all set up in the trees scattered around. Clover's over there cooking his third dinner for the night. Overall, really good day. It's our last full day in New Mexico. We're gonna get up in the morning and touch the border monument pretty quick.